Imagine sleeping outside, on a night freezing cold, 20,000 years ago, in the middle of the Ice Age. Your breath freezes onto your eyelashes as you sleep. Your fingers go numb within minutes. Exposed skin blackens and dies within the hour. And yet humans survived winters like this for thousands of years straight. And how they did turns out to be more extreme than we imagined. For decades, scientists explained Ice Age survival as a triumph of human ingenuity, but new evidence tells a different story. It's not a story about what people invented. It's a story about what they were willing to become. To understand what survival in the Ice Age actually meant, you first have to understand how cold this world really was. At its peak, the ice sheets of the last Ice Age buried much of North America and stretched across Scandinavia deep into Europe. Isotope analysis of teeth from horses hunted at an Ice Age site in what's now the Czech Republic puts the temperature across an entire year at just 1.2 degrees Celsius, about 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's the yearly average, not the winter low. But the number that matters most is this one. According to a 1998 climate reconstruction by Odile Peyron and colleagues at Serege in France, the coldest month of the year across northern Europe averaged around -30 degrees Celsius, about -22 degrees Fahrenheit, not one freak night, a monthly average. Even today, Siberia holds the coldest temperature ever recorded in the northern hemisphere outside Greenland, -90 degrees Fahrenheit. Set in 1885, not even during the Ice Age. This temperature is not only cold, it is mortal. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, in still air at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, exposed skin can freeze in about half an hour. Add even a light wind, and that window drops to 10 minutes. At the wind speeds regularly recorded across open Ice Age tundra, it could happen in 5. There's no warning stage. Skin goes from cold to numb to frozen, and once tissue actually freezes, it dies. So what did it take to survive cold this extreme, winter after winter, for thousands of years? For decades, the explanation seemed complete. It came down to the body and to invention. In 1997, anthropologist Trenton Holliday documented in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology that European Neanderthals had a distinctly cold-adapted body plan, broad trunks and short limbs that conserved heat, that built on nasal passage research by Robert Franciscus and Eric Trinkhaus, dating back to 1988, which showed the same cold climate pattern in the shape of the nose and airway. But beyond anatomy, survival meant fire, shelter, and something to put between bare skin and that air. Humans lost their fur roughly 1.2 million years ago, according to a 2004 genetic study by Alan Rogers and colleagues at the University of Utah. There is no way a human could survive cold like this with bare skin. So something got invented that we call clothes today, but it started far more raw, wearing the dead, including some of the most dangerous animals alive at the time. In a 2018 study, Matteo Romandini and colleagues at the University of Ferrara examined bear bones from Rio Secco Cave in Italy and found cut marks consistent with skinning and butchering. Their conclusion: Neanderthals were deliberately hunting cave bears while the animals hibernated, ambushing them at their most vulnerable. In Germany, paleobiologist Suzanne Munsel documented something even more direct in a 2001 study. A bear vertebra with a broken spear point still lodged inside it, physical proof of a successful hunt roughly 29,000 years ago. Killing something that could kill you back, then cutting it open and wearing what was left wasn't a footnote in the survival story. For a long time, it was the survival story. But draped fur alone had limits. A loose hide blocks wind, but it leaves gaps, and gaps let the cold in. According to a 2024 study in the journal Science Advances, led by Ian Gilligan at the University of Sydney, the real leap came from tools that let people pierce and join hides instead of just wrapping them. Bone awls roughly 80,000 years old and true-eyed needles spreading across Eurasia by around 40,000 years ago, precise enough to produce fitted, layered clothing instead of a single draped skin. One of those sites was Denisova Cave in Siberia. There, researchers from the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography in Novosibirsk uncovered something they did not expect. A needle so finely made it could pass for a modern sewing tool, found in the same layer as the fossils of an entirely different, extinct species. Not Neanderthals, not modern humans. A branch of humanity we only know existed because of a single finger bone and the DNA extracted from it, the Denisovans. But clothing alone wasn't enough to survive the Ice Age. Humans needed shelter too. Across the open steppe where much of this story takes place, there were no forests to build with, and no caves either. So humans had to build their homes from something else entirely, and the solution they came up with is even more fascinating. At Mezirich, in what is now Ukraine, archaeologists have found structures built almost entirely from the biggest animals that lived at the time. Mammoth skeletons, jawbones stacked into walls, tusks arched overhead like ribs. Building one meant clearing a mammoth down to bare bone. Skin and organs removed, joints broken apart, flesh stripped away. Around one of these structures, archaeologists recovered hunting weapons scattered alongside the bones. But at a related site in Russia called Kostenki 11, some of the jawbones built into a similar bone circle turned out to be 200 to over 1,000 years older than the rest of the structure. Evidence that people were also hauling in the skeletons of mammoths that had already been dead for centuries. Either way, this wasn't a shelter nature had built for humans, like a cave. It was a structure humans built themselves, bone by bone from the dead. And they built it to last, according to a 2025 study by Wei Chu and colleagues at Leiden University. One of these structures was in use for up to 429 years, built during the single coldest phase of the entire Ice Age. And that wasn't even the strangest thing Ice Age humans did to survive. But maybe humans had found another way to defy the cold. At Cima de los Huesos in Spain, a site far older than the Ice Age itself, around 430,000 years old, paleoanthropologist Antonis Bartsiokas of Democritus University of Thrace, Greece, and paleoanthropologist Juan Luis Arzuaga of Complutense University of Madrid discussed a controversial idea in a 2020 study when they found seasonal damage patterns in ancient bones. Early humans may have entered a state resembling hibernation, slowing their bodies down to survive months of winter scarcity, like some animals do. Most researchers reject the theory outright, but the fact that it's being seriously debated at all says something about how far the human body may have been pushed to survive extreme conditions. And then, there are traces of something else, not human, in people alive today. Greenlandic Inuit carry a special gene variant that shapes how their bodies store and burn fat for warmth. The variant appears to help convert ordinary fat into a special kind called brown fat, fat that burns energy directly to generate heat instead of just storing it. This particular version of the gene didn't originate in modern humans at all. A 2017 study in Molecular Biology and Evolution confirmed, building on earlier work published in Science in 2015. Ancient humans interbred with Denisovans around 50,000 years ago, the same vanished species behind the needle in that Siberian cave, and along with that encounter, inherited a gene shaped by a Denisovan population that had endured Arctic-level cold for hundreds of thousands of years. The Denisovans eventually died out. They left behind almost nothing. A small bone from the tip of a finger, a needle so fine it could pass for a modern tool, and a gene that still helps human beings survive the cold today.